Hey everyone, Ben here. Message for someone dealing with a not so great person. First of all, thanks for clicking on the video and thanks for showing up. So, when I first connected, I was in the woods or a forest, and the way I would describe the trees would be like pine trees. If you've ever been in, like a forest or woods like this, that there's really not many branches, it's just a tree trunk way up, and then you'll have the branches at the top making a canopy and kind of enclosing the whole space like a roof or a ceiling. And these trees were very big around, like very, very big around. That if I stood behind, I could probably fit five of me behind the tree and no one could see. Then in the air, there was a dense fog, but it was above me. And then I felt like someone was watching me at that time. And then I felt the need. Well, and then I heard, "And they are." And first of all, I'm not instilling fear. Like, you would know about this, more than likely. I then felt the need to like go to war or battle. Like I felt the need to fight for something. And I reached down and picked up pine needles and I rubbed them between my hand and like wiped my face, kind of like that guy did in Gladiator before he ever went to battle. He would pick up dirt and rub it in his hands, and I'm pretty sure like he would breathe in then, like he's ready for war. And what came through was, what stood out was the multiple layers of protection that I have here. The canopy of all the trees, you know, pretty much made a ceiling. And then I had the fog. And then I had this huge tree, to hide behind if I wanted to. Then the fog, spirit came through the fog at that point, changed its shape, and I could see spirit there. If we think of fog, if there's wind, I like to think of wind as the all at times, spirit, however you want to look at it. And the wind can move the fog around. So we already have that protection, and then the other two protections, the canopy and the tree. At that point, uh, I felt full body tingles, as I do when I meditate or I go in. Normally, when I go to wherever I want to go, I feel that way. Like I'm safe. I feel comforted. I am there. I am okay, however you want to look at it. And then I heard "Unleash the dogs." And there were dogs that did come, but they couldn't come to me. I mean, they were lost with the fog. I don't know if this is true, but I always thought, the denser it is, like if it just rained and you had a hunting dog, that rain's gonna knock the scent down, number one. And number two, if we're thinking about fog, there's a lot of moisture in the air, that it might just, it's like a chain of events. It just connects to all the water molecules and it just smells like it's everywhere. It's not giving you any direction. It's just everywhere because it's all connected in the moisture, the water, that the dogs will not have the trail, if you will. And I could hear them barking and see them, but there was like this line that they didn't cross. At that point, I was actually put in some sort of like capsule. It was like golden glass almost. And that was that. I did pull some cards on it. First card is King of Pentacles reversed. This is, procrastination, mixed signals. Our next card, Page of Cups reversed, immaturity, disappointments, not showing up. This could be someone, maybe we started out with threatening. Maybe a relationship ended and there was threats. Now this fear was instilled in us. But this person isn't moving forward with it, or whatever they say, we're just waiting for the shoe to drop. When's this going to take place? Blah 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 blah. Or maybe this was a relationship that we put effort into it and they're not showing up, and they're not doing what they said they were going to do. They're not fulfilling their role, and we've left, or we want to leave, but they're threatening us in some way. Next card is King of Wands reversed, manipulation. This would make sense. Controlling, demanding. interfering with our life, trying to disturb our life. Say we did leave a relationship and they're trying to make hell of our life, because they're immature. They're in their ego of, I'm number one and how dare you leave me, or whatever. There's the dogs barking. Our next card, Death Reversed, Fear of Change. This could all be acting out of fear of change. They're stuck in the past. They don't want to let the past go. They like the past, and you've left, and they don't like that. So how can I get you back? Let me smear your name and drag it through mud. These are where these dogs come in. The dogs are their henchmen. They're having them do the work for them. If you think of a hunting dog, the hunter is using the dogs to do the work, and he just shoots. So let me manipulate the story and tell people all these things that aren't true to get this person on, wish them ill will or whatever, and get all these henchmen after them. Our last card was Justice in Reversed. Lying, avoiding responsibilities. Maybe they did something wrong and that's the reason we left, and they're painting you as the one that did it wrong, which is pretty normal. It's very immature. Not taking responsibility for our own actions. We're throwing a fit because we didn't get our way, or we're throwing a fit because inevitably we're the crappy person, and we'll never take that responsibility. There is a title for this kind of energy that a lot of people throw around. Now, granted, I think we all carry a quality of everything. It's just whether we act on it or not. We all have abilities and thoughts. It's if we act on it that portrays a title to something. There are shitty people. I'm not saying that there's not. The biggest message is, someone's trying to drag your name through the mud, and that's a hard place to be. We want to fight. We want to fight back and protect our name. But by engaging, we're just giving them what they want. It doesn't matter how we react. If we're sad, happy, or angry, they're getting something from that. And then they'll get in, they'll manipulate you, and we'll fall right back into the cycle again. So now, like I said with the dogs, we'll spread it around, whatever bullshit it is, and we'll try to get all these people talking and hoping for you to correct. I think somebody said the best way to get engagement is not to ask a question, is to to say a statement that allows for someone to correct it. So, how would that take place? Let's say down the grapevine, somebody said, bull, something negative about you or something that's not true. And then it gets to the next person and the next person. Well, now I'm sure the story has changed a bit, but someone's going to say it to you, or you're going to catch wind of it and you're going to go correct it. And now we've engaged. Or you want to go to the source and correct it. You're going to get angry and all this stuff. This is 101 stuff. I mean, it does suck. Don't get me wrong, but it is your choice to engage. When we get to a place that we stop external validation and we come into truth with ourselves, we know the truth, and we're okay letting go of people that got on that bandwagon. Maybe they were friends or family, and it's not true. And you might want to correct it, but that's just engaging. I mean, every situation's different. If it's dealt with the law, obviously you're going to have to validate yourself, through the circuits as necessary. But you are protected in more ways than you know. That is the main purpose here, that you are protected in this experience 4 different ways. And we may not see it as protection, or we may not see it that way. Obviously, it's spirit. We can't always see that. But you are protected. Hang in there. And as always, you make the decision whether you want to engage or not. But I won't even waste my time. So take care.